Good afternoon and welcome to the House Appropriations Committee. This is Thursday, March 17th. We're all wearing green if possible, and we're going to have a number of bills that we're going to vote on today to move to the floor and get over to the Senate before crossover. We do have, after this voting session, 2 bills to be heard. So the committee will stay on for that. Let's begin today by voting on House Bill 385. Delegate Barnes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The committee will remember the issues we had with the student housing at Medco. This bill came in seeking to address some of those issues. Medco had some serious concerns with the bill as introduced in that it may affect their bonding ability. We do have some amendments that I think will address that. Amendment number 1 is technical. Amendment number 2 strikes the provision of the bill, requires Medco student housing to operate in the same manner as USM student housing, and instead adds some transparency to provisions. Move the amendments.
Okay, on the amendments, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? On the bill as amended, all
And I'll
those.
say that Medco's concerns are alleviated now that the bill is amended.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Raise your hand. Okay, very good. House Bill 424.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
House Bill 424, it's for the constitutional officers' salaries. You remember the constitutional officers have a commission that meets every 4 years to make recommendations on salary requirements for the 4 constitutional leaders of the Attorney General, the Comptroller, the Treasurer, and the Secretary of State. And so they made their recommendations, and this bill just implements the salary recommendations for those 4 constitutional officers.
Very good.
There are no amendments.
Okay. So we're going to vote on the bill straight up without amendments. All those, does anybody have any questions? Delegate Beitzel, do you have a question?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? We have Novotny, McKay, Kettleman, Metzger.
We have 4 in the
Beitzel.
opposition. Oh, and Beitzel.
Let's make sure we get that. Metzger, Beitzel, Kettleman, McKay, and Novotny. And
Grice.
Grice comes in.
We
here.
were waiting for it. We have 15 in the affirmative and 6 in the negative, 2 absent, or excused, I should say.
That's okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. House Bill 662, Delegate Resnick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 662 is an emergency bill. It requires a couple things. First, the state coordinator for autism strategy in the governor's office of community initiatives to be appointed by the governor. It alters the membership of the advisory stakeholder group on autism related needs by including a member of the Senate and 2 members of the House, as well as being staffed by the Department of Disabilities. There is an amendment. The amendment requires the governor to fund a support staff position for the state coordinator and changes the effective date to October 1st.
Okay, on the amendments, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay. On the bill as amended, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Very good. House Bill 778.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 778 is the Transportation Investment Program MARC Rail Service or Maryland Regional Rail Transformation Act, which requires MTA to establish various investment programs to advance their cornerstone plan and other MARC system improvements. There are amendments. Amendment 1 is technical. Amendment 2 expands the scope of a concept study to include a third track on the Brunswick line to Western Maryland, but removes the requirement for 30% design work for that track, which eases some, but not all, of the fiscal note. And it adds a work group to study the Transportation Trust Fund and state transportation needs. Something we've heard a lot about over the years is the sustainability of the trust fund. So I would move the amendments.
Okay, on the amendments, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? On the bill as amended. Delegate, yep, we got some questions. Delegate Valentino Smith.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I can get together with a good delegate from Montgomery County, but just a quick question, because I haven't read it all in detail. I don't remember the hearing. This isn't changing any of the planned Mark Rail CIP projects or anything, is it?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yeah,
Sure. So thank you, Delegate. No, it doesn't do anything in the to any existing project in the CTP from the Department of Transportation. It's just going to make them move along some of their longer term plans that they've talked about over the years and put in various documents, such as their statewide transit plan draft and their cornerstone plan for the MARC system. This is going to sort of push them to the next step of some of those projects, including the run through service to Virginia, the run through service to Delaware, the line out to Western Maryland. All of those projects we've sort of heard so much about conceptually over the years. This is going to sort of push them to the next stage of concept in some cases, or 30% design in other cases.
Thank you, because we want to keep moving ahead. We have a terrific MARC train station at Bowie State University, and so just looking to continue to make the improvements there. Thank you.
okay, Delegate Kettleman. Did you have a question? Okay, all right. On the bill as amended, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Opposed, we have Delegates Novotny, Delegate Kittleman, Delegate Greist. That we have 3 in the opposition with 18 in the affirmative and 2 absent.
Thank you very much. 872.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The bill has 2 amendments. Amendment number 1 is technical. Amendment number 2 applies the bill to all of our public institutions of higher education. It also alters the bill to require the institution to adopt policies related to withdrawals under these extenuating circumstances. We did check with the bill sponsor, who is our very own Delegate Henson, who was good with this. I think this gets to Delegate Henson's intent, which we think was very laudable, while giving the university some flexibility to actually review these extenuating circumstances, see if they meet out, and then apply the fee tuition reimbursement. I move the amendments.
Okay. Very good. On the amendments, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? On the bill as amended, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed?
I'm sorry, Madam Chair. I just had a question before we
Sure.
had voted. I apologize.
No.
With the amendment that we just accepted, this just allows for universities to adopt and publish their own policies. It does not force the actual university to accept, say, any reason on the last day of a term.
That's right. Yeah, they'd have some, they have to have a
Make sure.
policy. They have to spell out their policy. We have to know what it is. Policy has to include a provision that if there are these extenuating circumstances, the student will get their tuition back, but it's not automatic by any means.
Okay, I am for this bill. I appreciate the explanation.
Okay.
And I have a question.
Yes, Delegate Beitzel.
A question. I have on my note that University of Maryland opposed this. Does that amendment check?
Yeah,
change?
the university, I should have said that. That's a good question, Delegate Bight. So I should have said the universities had some discomfort with it, with these amendments and their ability to create their own policy. They're no longer opposed. They have no position.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, are we all for this bill now? Yep, okay, thank you very much. House Bill 966, Delegate Solomon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is, as you recall, the bill related to academic credit for prior learning that we heard a couple of weeks ago. We also had some conversations about it in the budget. in EED. This builds off of a study that we had EMEC conduct last year. It would require a uniform policy across the public universities for AP, IB, and CLEP programs. There was no opposition to the bill. There was one amendment. It's technical, just clarified a drafting piece at the request of the USM. Would ask to move the amendments.
Okay. On the amendments, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? On the bill as amended, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. House Bill 1041.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1041 is a bill that makes various changes to the Family Investment Program in the Department of Human Services. Just for everyone's reminder, I'll go ahead and quickly read the purpose. Requires an annual review for each contract with a non-governmental entity in place as of October 1st, and within 45 days of completion of the review, report to specified committees of the General Assembly and publish the review on the DHS website. DHS must hire an outside consultant to conduct a review of the Family Investment Program to assess the extent to which FIP is implementing policies equitably and employing best practices to achieve the best outcomes possible for children and their parents, including by considering that many FIP recipients are experiencing or have experienced significant trauma. By July 1st, 2023, the review must be reported to the General Assembly. Until DHS has fully implemented recommendations for the review, beginning October 2024 and each year after, DHS must report to specific committees of the General Assembly on the plans and progress for implementation. There is an amendment that strikes performance-based initiatives for non-governmental contractors and compensation for specified stakeholders. It changes the start date for annual review and alters criteria in the review. The amendment also authorizes the department to reallocate funds to complete the review required under this bill.
Okay,
I'd like to move the amendments.
all right, on the amendments. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? On the bill as amended, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Very good. House Bill 1048, Delegate Bridges.
Yes, House Bill 1048 is another bill by a good member of our committee. This is the Commission on African American History and Culture. What this bill does is actually makes it an independent unit in the executive branch of government. And it also establishes the funding requirements for the commission. If you remember, this commission also has oversight of the Banneker Douglas Museum here in Annapolis. And so that's what the bill is about. There is an amendment, two amendments. One is technical. The other amendment just removes a requirement that the Maryland Historical Trust provide support for the capital projects and removes additional capital funding for the museum.
Okay, yes, Delegate Grice, do you have a question?
Oh, I do, thank you. So is there any new funding for this, or is it moving funding from one part of the budget to another? I'm confused.
I believe this is new funding. Let me just make sure.
This is all new funding, Delegate.
Is it? Okay, thank you. And what I don't have it in front of me. What is the fiscal note on this?
900,000.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
It was more than that, but there was a 300,000 additional from Maryland Historical Trust to do construction, and that was taken out. So that's what the amendment does.
Okay.
Take out the 300.
So it's under $1 million then.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Thanks.
Delegate Kettleman.
You're on mute, Delegate.
You're on mute.
Thank you. I think we've already dealt with a bill that provides $5 million for grants. There was another bill that was providing, I think it was capital improvements. Is this a third bill? I know that's a sort of a fuzzy question, but I know there was.
This is outside of those bills. I think the other bill we're talking about was the African American Heritage Preservation Grant.
Right.
Yeah, I only recall one other bill, by the way, not just one that we've dealt with. But
Okay.
anyway, yeah. Which we did the speaker's bill a few days ago
All right.
that increased the amount of grant money.
Right.
This is separate.
And what, I'm sorry, but tell me again what this does.
This takes the commission out of the executive department, out of the governor's office, and makes it an independent unit in the executive branch. And so previously, it was with, I believe, the governor's office of community initiatives, takes it out of that office and makes it its own separate office. And it also, because they also have oversight of the Banneker Douglas Museum.
Good.
Thank you.
All right, on the bill as amended, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
In the opposition, we have delegates Novotny, Beitzel, Kittleman, McKay, Metzger,
Sorry, I was taking notes again.
and
My
Ray.
apologies.
That's all right. Delegate Grice opposed. All right,
We have 6 in the opposition, 15 in the affirmative, and 2 excused.
good. All right, we have Delegate Corman next on 1055.
Thank you, Madam Chair. HB 1055 is from our colleague Delegate Smith. This bill is heavily amended, so let me just try to explain. Most of the contents of Delegate Smith's bill as it came in, including some mandated bus purchases and pay increases and incentives around carpooling, all very good ideas, are unfortunately removed from the bill by the amendments. And essentially what the bill will do once amended is sort of restore a program that just sunsetted, whereby Baltimore City students and under this bill, participants in the Baltimore City Youth Works program can use the MTA system between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Free of charge. So I would move the amendments to put it in that, I would move the amendments that put it in that posture, Madam Chair.
Thank you. On the amendments, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? On the bill as amended, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Let's move to Delegate Wilson's bill, Delegate Bridges.
Yep, Delegate Wilson's bill, the Maryland State Board of Contract Appeals. This adds actually just 3 additional members. Let me be more specific. This adds 3 staff positions to the Board of Contract Appeals, and those staff positions will be law clerks that have to be from a graduate of the University of Maryland, University of Baltimore, and the Howard University Schools of Law. If you remember, the board currently has 3 members. They actually have a lot of backlog that stems from MBE protests and now sports wagering as well. And so we're just trying to do something to help them out by adding these 3 additional members or these 3 additional law clerks. This is the first step to getting them some additional help. I will say that the Board of Contract Appeals did put in a letter of opposition. However, I was told by the sponsor of the bill that there is another bill that he has that really looks at procurement and contracts that also adds 6 additional members to the Board of Contract Appeals. And so that he's trying to alleviate those concerns through another bill, but this bill is just about adding the 3 law clerks to the Board of Contract Appeals. There are no amendments.
All right, we have a couple of questions here. You have questions about the amendments?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yeah. All right, Delegate Metzger.
Yes, I'm sorry. I was going to yield my time to Delegate McKay, but that's okay. Are you saying that they have to come from those 3 colleges only?
Yes, the bill was specific in naming those 3 colleges, Maryland's University of Maryland, University of Baltimore, and Howard University School of Law.
Okay. Okay.
University of Baltimore in there?
University of Baltimore School of Law, University of Maryland School of Law, and Howard.
Okay. All right. Delegate McKay.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Frostburg doesn't have a law school.
No.
No. Mr. Subchair Bridges,
that other bill, do we know what posture that other bill is in?
I do not. I know I had the conversation with him a little bit earlier today.
Was he
and I'm not sure
positive?
what posture.
But was he positive, or, I mean, I'm just trying to get, I was against this bill in subcommittee. But if we think it's going to be fixed on the other side, I don't need a hard yes or no, but if you feel good about it, I don't have a problem going yes on this now. So.
Yeah, from what he told me, that's the bill that he's trying to alleviate their concerns in.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I'm going to go yes. I'm going to switch up. Thank you.
Okay, Delegate Novotny, have a question.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To be clear, Howard University of Washington, D.C., right?
Yes.
Okay, great university. I actually took a lot of classes there when I was going to school in Washington, D.C. And I appreciate reaching out to D.C. But thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
Delegate
I know we're
Biden.
trying to just make sure we have some diversity, and I'm not sure that we have any other school of law that's a HBCU in the state of Maryland.
Yeah,
Did you have a question, Delegate Beitzel?
No, I was just preparing to raise my hand.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. All right. On the amendments, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
We have
Oh, I'm sorry.
eight
There are no amendments to this one.
There are no
This is
amendments.
just a straight
I'm
bill.
sorry.
I apologize.
All right.
Yep.
On the bill, unamended, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Anyone
Aye.
opposed? Now the opposition, please. Okay. All right.
Delegate Bites, I think you want to vote in opposition.
Yeah. Not that we're trying to persuade you, but do you want to be for or against this bill?
Right now, we only have delegates Novotny and Kittleman opposed.
So I'm trying to help them.
I know. No, you're on mute. You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Wait a minute.
Are you for or against this bill?
I'm trying to raise my hand.
There you go.
There you go.
All right.
That's fine. Thank
We're trying to help you out
Delegate
here.
Corman. I thought I had my hand up, so
Nah,
excuse me.
it's
Thank
okay.
you.
Very good.
With 18 in the affirmative, 3 in the negative, and 2 excused.
Very good. Thank you all. Okay, we're going to go back to Delegate Corman again on House Bill 1336.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1336 is the Greater Baltimore Transit Governance and Funding Commission from our colleague Delegate Bridges. This sets up a commission to study basically having a transportation authority for the Greater Baltimore area. There are amendments. Amendments 1 and 2 change the composition of the commission by adding members from the business community, unions, and trade organizations appointed by the governor, all appointed by the governor, and remove DLS from commission staffing responsibilities. It will be staffed by the Baltimore Metropolitan Council, or BMC, which is happy to staff the commission. I would move the amendments.
Good. On the amendments, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? On the bill as amended, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? 1, 2, 3.
In the opposition, we have delegates Kittleman, delegate Novotny, delegate Greist.
Okay.
And
very good.
3 in the opposition, 18 in the affirmative, and 2 excused.
All right, House Bill 1380, Delegate Young.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Apologize, I am in a work group in HGO, HB 1830. 1830 is the general provision LGBTQ Veterans Honorable Discharge Restoration of Honor Act. The bill will, we heard this a week ago, creates a system within the Department of Veterans Affairs, which will make sure that criteria are identified and make sure that no veteran that has been discharged under past requirements that are no longer the law, specifically don't ask, don't tell, will be unable to receive state benefits that are eligible for them, and requires the department to create that criteria and identification of defining a honorably discharged veteran and under what criteria they can apply. This has been adopted in other states, and we would be one of, I believe, 3 to 6 that have done so. Move the bill.
Okay, there are no amendments, correct?
No amendments.
All right. On the bill without any amendments, straight up 1380, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, I see none opposed. All right, we'll move to House Bill 1450.
Madam Chair, I can do this one.
Yep.
So the amendment you have before you by Chair McIntosh makes clarifying changes around concentration of poverty funding. It adds a reporting requirement for MSDE. It has date changes related to the CCR pathways and technical changes about withholding funds. The funding, the CCR pathways are all voted unanimously by the AIB.
So we only took the AIB changes, correct?
You made 2 additional changes, which were to make clarifying changes around the use of concentration of poverty funds.
Right.
And you added a report for MSDE to complete.
Good. On the amendments, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? On the bill as amended, 1450, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. I see none. House Bill 1451, Delegate Resnick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1451 largely codifies existing practice, allowing the Department of Housing and Community Development to provide specified forms of financial assistance to certain business projects, specifically convertible promissory notes. There are no amendments. Please move the bill.
On the bill, without any amendments, House Bill 1451, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Very good. House Bill 1026, Delegate Resnick again.
Yes, 1 second, Madam Chair. I'm looking for the document because it's out of order. Here we go. Got it. There we go. All right, House Bill 1026 is a bill we just heard a couple days ago. It's the 2-Generation Family Economic Security Commission with members and compensation. The bill essentially adds 1 member appointed by the Secretary of Human Services who has lived experience in poverty, and then has a 3-year, within the last 3 years of their appointment, and is a former recipient of public service. There is 1 amendment on the bill. The bill removes the stipend for that member. Move the amendment.
Okay. On the amendment, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed to the amendment? On the bill as amended, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Very good. Delegate Proctor, House Bill 1091.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1091 is sponsored by Delegate Learman, our Joint Chairman on Committee on Pensions. This bill authorizes the Board of Trustees of the State Retirement and Pension System to adjust the compensation up to 2 times for any employee of the investment division who was employed before July 1 of 2018 and whose compensation is currently below the salary midpoint for the individual's position. Of course, the adjustments are subject to specific conditions and time limits. This bill also authorizes the board to pay incentive compensation to any individual who earns compensation and who retires directly from the investment division before the full payment is made. There are no amendments.
Very good. All those in favor of House Bill 1091 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. House Bill 1290. Michelle?
Do you want me to go through page by page or just?
Yeah.
Okay. So the changes on page 2 and 3 make changes related to the Prince George's County P3 program, specifying the IAC's current role in the MIU and just putting that in statute, and makes clear that the availability payment goes to Prince George's County to pay for the P3. The next change is on, it's numbered as page 3, but I believe it's page 5. It's a typo. The next change is on numbered page 4. It's a technical change. It also clarifies that the incentives related to concentration of poverty schools are calculated when the local school system submits the project to the IAC. The next page is on change 5, which changes the language around adjacencies. On pages 6 and 7, we made changes around the facilities assessment, taking in some of the concerns from the IAC. The changes on page 9 are technical. Changes on page 10 conform the intent to the bill at the top, so that's the state or the local cost share for the school construction costs. The change in line 19 aligns the allocation to what is currently in the budget, the capital budget for the revolving loan fund. On page 11, it changes the allocation to match what's currently in the budget for the Healthy School Facilities Fund moving forward. The changes on page 13 are related to the 21st Century School Program. On the next page, there's a change by bringing in the state government article to address the concern that the Stadium Authority brought up about the distribution of the bond proceeds. So it's clear that this is the first allocation from ETF. The next change is numbered on page 14. It increases the intent for the total public school construction funding and adds that it is to that it's supposed to increase to remain stable with the incentives that the bill adopts. On line 32, added pre-kindergarten space. On page 15, there's language around the city's bottle tax reserve funding. And then there's language that the incentives for the cost share are effective for the CIP in FY24, but are effective for the Built to Learn program prospectively after the act passes. Those are all the changes.
Very good. All right, any questions? And by the way, I'm having trouble seeing the full screen, so wait a minute. Folks can, oh, there we go. Yes, Delegate Beitzel, I see you now.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To summarize this, isn't this basically a revolving loan program that will enable local school jurisdictions to be able to borrow the money that they may not otherwise have to build a new school or to build new schools? Is that correct?
Build new schools or renovate.
Or for improvements to existing schools.
Right.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. On the amendments, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? On the bill as amended.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Chair. I think there might be some other amendments.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
There's a technical amendment.
I'm very sorry. Yes. Go ahead, Delegate Corman,
Well, I think Delegate Barnes is first.
Delegate Barnes. Okay.
Yeah, I think, Michelle, do you have the technical amendment?
Yeah, we sent it around to all your offices, but if you want, we can pull it up. In Built to Learn, there was a drafting error made that accidentally repealed 2 sections of code. So we are asking if you could adopt this amendment to unrepeal those 2 sections of code.
Okay.
Move the amendment.
All right. What's the effect of that? What 2 sections code? Do I need to know?
No.
It threw out the arts program.
Huh?
Throughout the arts program, and we'll make sure that that stays in, that we do fund art.
That is
I'm
not.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yes, Delegate Kittleman.
I would just like an answer to the chair's question.
Yeah.
We accidentally repealed the Aging Schools program, and so we will be making, in the capital budget, we will be putting the allocations in, so there's no issue with that. We accidentally repealed the school safety grant program, and again, we are making a change in the capital budget so that there's no errors for anyone for FY23.
Thank you.
So in a way, Madam Chair, my amendment is, creating an aging schools program. I'm put on.
I actually thought we folded those into the healthy schools.
And we need to unrepeal these.
We did.
They fold into the priority fund in FY25. So they are supposed to be repealed in FY25. They are supposed to be in effect, and it's reflected in the capital budget right now, the allocations for those two programs.
All right, very good. Does that explain it, Delegate Kittleman? Okay. All right, on this amendment, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, on the bill.
Madam Chair, one more amendment, if I may.
I can't wait.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I know it's a little unusual. I do have an oral amendment. If that's okay.
Sure.
We all got to see the speaker bestow a tremendous honor on our friend Nancy Kopp earlier this week with the Speaker's Medallion. And we have the opportunity before us to bestow on former Treasurer Kopp our own lasting honor to make sure her name is on DLS reports and analyses going forward, just as she would want it, but also that her name is linked with one of the major endeavors of her tenure in office, which is school construction. Before she was Treasurer Kopp, she was Delegate Kopp and served on the capital budget subcommittee of this committee, and obviously was involved in allocating billions of dollars in school construction. As treasurer, she served on the Board of Public Works, overseeing the obligation of billions of dollars in school construction. In 2002, she was appointed chair of the task force to study public school facilities, known as the Kopp Commission, which set the course for the state school construction program for the next 15 years. And from 2018 until her retirement, she served on the work group on the assessment and funding of school facilities that helped develop actually the bill that's before us now. So with that, Madam Chair, I'd like to move that we rename the Public School Facilities Priority Fund the Nancy K. Kopp Public School Facilities Priority Fund in honor of our friend, our mentor, my constituent, and our former treasurer, Nancy K. Kopp.
Very good.
Second that amendment.
Second.
All right, on that amendment, everyone in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, on the bill as amended, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Good. All right, now we're ready for House Bill 1400, Delegate Barnes.
It's just one of our standard, we see it with Calvert County, St. Mary's County, the system, one of our bonding bills. This one's from Morgan State University, increases the bond from 88 to 140. Don't have any amendments, move the bill.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, House Bill 1043.
House Bill 1043 is the other side of the coin of the bill we just voted out at 1041. This is also dealing with the Family Investment Program and makes various alterations to eligibility, work experience, community service, etc. There is one amendment. It strikes the bill's requirements on reporting the work participation rate and verification of the work hours. It also strikes the various requirements for work sites used for work experience. Move the amendment.
Okay. You have a question? Yes.
I just want to make sure that it does sound like this takes care of the concerns that the Department of Human Services has. Thank you very much.
Correct. Yes, it does.
Thank you, sir.
Very good. Okay. On the amendments, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? On the bill as amended, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We have opposition.
In the opposition, we have delegates Novotny, Greist, Kittleman, Beitzel. We have 4 in the opposition, 17 in the affirmative, and 2 excused.
Okay. Very good. House Bill 805. Delegate Barnes.
Sorry, Madam Chair. This bill was given an unfavorable Ways and Means. We're secondary on the bill. This is in opposition to the virtual learning policy the Ways and Means Committee has adopted, which is why they voted unfavorable. I will tell the loyal opposition on the Zoom that this was a party line vote. I'll move unfavorable.
Okay, on the unfavorable, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Party line.
Opposed to the unfavorable motion, is that correct? We just want to make sure we're voting the right way on this.
Yes, that's
Thank you.
correct.
Yeah.
I have delegates Novotny, Grice, Kittleman, McKay, Delegate Beitzel and Metzger.
Oh,
Delegate Beitzel, are you good?
I think you're
Okay.
opposed by it.
Yeah. We 15 in the favorable, 6 in the opposition, and 2 excused.
All right, very good. We have House Bill 574 that was withdrawn, going once, going twice, gone. Very good. Now, are we gonna, that concludes our voting session. Are we gonna just stay on and move into the bills?
No,
No,
you have
Madam.
to, sorry.
Go
You have
ahead.
to move to the other Zoom link.
Okay, we have to move to the other Zoom link. So how about I see everybody in about 5 minutes, okay? Give us 5.